Whenever TikTok drama blows up, you'll often find this influencer at the center of it. His name? Cal the Dragon. His content? Cringe to say the least.
The haters wanna hate, but little do they know. I've been fighting them since Neuer was in goal. You troll, you probably got no soul. I see the silly comments and all I do is low.
But everyone laughed at what he was putting out there and it never seemed forced. However, things started to take a disturbing turn when Cal began to get the worst treatment possible from the UK TikTok community. From being exploited by OnlyFans models, to beefing with content creators.
I'm loving your videos, Bashir. You did the how's he gone? Where's he gone?
And even shoving a kid. Here's the story of how Cal the Dragon, how he rose to fame, and how collaborating with the wrong content creators brought his rapid downfall. It happened in November 2022. At a public event, a 13-year-old boy pulled Cal's hat off his head. Cameras were rolling as Cal reacted with anger. He chased after the teenager and tried to snatch his hat back. That's when a confrontation between the two broke out. People tried separating them, and even when they pulled Cal away, he tried to kick the boy. Within hours, the video went viral. People were disgusted by what they saw and couldn't believe that this funny guy who plays football against garden tools would behave like that to a kid. Cal then released an apology tweet, trying to explain himself and take accountability. It took him 2 days, but by then, the damage was done. The internet had already divided. I thought I'd explain my unnecessary actions of what happened today. I feel so guilty for such a stupid decision from me. I would like to apologize to those who saw such a bad thing. I know I'm better than that. I shouldn't never do it. I promise you I will never do it again.
I really do apologize for, of course I do, mate. Of course I do.
Some argued he had completely overreacted to a child's prank. A Reddit user who's also on the spectrum commented, "Being autistic doesn't give you free rein to go around punching people. I have ASD and I certainly wouldn't. I never said it does. The point I'm making is that after years of undeserved and unprovoked mass hate, I have limited sympathy that one of these bullies had to face some consequences, especially after taking it into the real world." Others insisted it wasn't fair, that Cal is constantly baited, and this was just another example of people trying to push him into an outburst. They poured their support behind him.
Hello Ben, Cal the Dragon, I hope you're well, mate. I hope you're staying confident, staying focused. Believe in you, mate.
One Reddit user claimed, "That kid deserved it. I've never seen Cal, but if you steal somebody's shit and don't give it back, then yeah, you're probably gonna get hurt. Teenagers need to learn that. I remember learning it." Another backed Cal up, saying, "Hard to blame Cal for this. The guy's been getting constant abuse for years, some of it very serious, such as getting catfished, for no other reason than being an easy target, and because people see him as a bit weird, especially considering he is young and on the spectrum. He's handled it very well and not let him get to him. Most people in his situation would have snapped and lashed out or quit a long time. He has not done anything wrong to deserve this, and his content is totally harmless. This kid went looking for trouble to cause Cal distress, although I doubt if he even considered the effect it would have on him, just for some clout on social media. Hopefully people will realize that, 1, bullying an autistic kid for doing what he loves is disgusting, and 2, you can't act the way you do online in real life without consequences. Still, the clip became proof of how fast things spiraled around him. A simple hat snatch was enough to turn into weeks of debate, stitches, and memes. But it made people stop and realize the creators they look up to might not be the saints they've been pretending to be.
Be a fucking brother. You may be fucking stronger than me. I'm not fucking poker fight against him, but...
Now, we know Cal's violent outburst was enough to get him somewhat cancelled, but the drama surrounding his TikTok career was far from over. If anything, it was about to get worse. Opinions emerged that began to downplay his viral success by chalking it up to luck. He's a TikTok and YouTuber from the UK that makes soccer videos. Anyone over 20 won't know who he is. We know he has a penchant for making videos that make him look silly, but that's honestly what's causing him to go viral. Every video you open, the comments are a mess. On Reddit threads, fans and critics went back and forth. One group defended him, saying the hate was relentless and people should stop targeting someone so obviously vulnerable.
So I would have liked to get him to talk a bit more. That's why we did the penalties. I don't know if you saw at the end of the video. We did like a penalty shootout. So that got him talking a bit more and he's a bit more interactive then.
Another group insisted this wasn't bullying at all, but part of a pattern where Cal thrives on drama and basks in the attention it brings. Defenders brought up his autism and said people were being unfair. Take a look at this video where he's being asked about his haircut, clearly as a joke, but he doesn't seem to get it.
Before you ask, no, I haven't had me haircut. It's just slipped back.
Critics said the excuse was getting old and that his behavior shouldn't be excused. And just because he's autistic doesn't mean he gets a free pass at being bad at a sport too. This is where the trend of Cal the comedian was born. Cal the Dragon is TikTok famous in England for being a goalkeeper, FYI. The debate wasn't just about the hat anymore. People were connecting it back to earlier moments that had gone viral. Moments where sympathy flipped into mockery and back again. The conversation revealed the truth about his online presence. Cal was never judged on one incident. Every moment fed into a bigger cycle where supporters and haters recycled the same arguments. And the more the cycle repeated, the less people cared about what really happened. The incident became secondary to the entertainment value of watching Cal's next downfall. But how did Cal get here? So the question is, how did Cal get here into this never-ending cycle of ridicule? When he started his content, Cal was known for being the weird guy who played football against garden tools.
I'll go on to the game. We take on Trial FC. Let's do it.
It might sound silly, but through this, he quickly gained internet attention. His videos blew up on TikTok. Most of them were about his football ventures. The seeds of his downfall began when he went viral for pairing with OF models, accidentally hitting himself during breakdowns, his unpredictable dance routines, and badly singing his favorite songs.
I didn't expect my joke.
'Cause you had a bad day, 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 you take it one down.
Whether it was against a rake, a hose, or the infamous bin, his Garden League series had millions of views. It was the first time TikTok saw someone play football against garden tools and lose for some reason. Now, it may not seem like a lot, but it was hilarious for the viewers. The internet initially supported him for his autism awareness.
Got autism with anxiety and depression, which basically means I struggle to do certain things to cope with things as well.
He was a hero for those on the spectrum who wanted to be more confident about themselves. Fortunately, Cal had everything going for him. TV interviews.
What was it like playing in front of all those people?
Fantastic fan base. There's a reason why it's sold out. It's a massive charity game. Appreciate everyone that's come down here today and just witnessed a fantastic goal fest. 8-7, what a game.
TikTok views, a genuine respect as a content creator, and more.
Never give up, that's what you don't do. You don't give up.
What about never believe you're good enough?
That's in my new song.
But the situation was about to take a turn for the worse. Soon everyone would come to hate Cal the Dragon, and his behavior wouldn't be brushed aside under the autism excuse. But before the hat snatching and public meltdowns, Cal the Dragon was still a content creator. He's still one now, even after all the allegations against him. Sure, people weren't okay with Cal hitting a kid, but Cal has had his fair share of internet moments where he's acted suspiciously or just plain stupid. And all of this hate, some could even say he stirred it up on purpose to get more attention.
What is that? Yeah. There you go.
Before we decide on whether the internet unnecessarily hates Cal, we should look at all the other mess he's been involved in. The truth is Cal the Dragon has been dragged in TikTok drama long before the hat snatch incident or the endless statement videos.
Let me think about that. Would I? No, I wouldn't.
What really put him on UK TikTok's radar was an internet beef that began with Astrid Wett, Simple Simon, and Ed Matthews.
Guys, might be a little nutmeg, but don't tell Cal, all right? Big pardon? Oh, no! Good.
Cal first connected with Astrid Wett, a creator known for her football-themed TikToks and provocative online presence. Now, Astrid has collaborated with many content creators, so no one thought it was anything out of the ordinary. She saw that Cal was going viral and decided pairing with him would bring more views, and it did.
For me to drop game, I need to be in that kind of mood.
How'd you get that kind of mood?
Red Bull, of course.
Oh yeah, you're obsessed with Red Bull, aren't you?
But Astrid, a star now turned OF model, was getting too close to Cal. Some Redditors even suggested she'd bring him up in her R18 content online, and Cal was blissfully unaware. Then she'd cast him aside like he never mattered.
Where's Cal the Dragon? Where's Cal the Dragon?
For Cal, this looked like a chance to validate himself as a football content creator. He had a passion for football. Some even argued it was his special interest. So striking collabs and stitches with people from the UK TikTok's football community was the smartest thing to do, until it wasn't.
Radio 1, Callux put it in the group chat. He said, "Are you not serious? I've literally just, he's driving the whip, I think, and it's popped up on BBC Radio 1. Beef between Cal the Dragon and Astrid."
Their connection seemed harmless on the surface, but on TikTok, nothing stays simple for long. People genuinely thought Cal had a crush on Astrid and was too dense to understand she was making him the butt of the joke.
So, Cal,
Before you ask, no, I haven't had my hair cut, just slipped it back.
That's where Simple Simon comes in.
Never have I ever worn a...
Simon was already infamous for strange live streams, clout-chasing antics, and an odd middle-aged presence on an app that's mostly for the young. When Astrid appeared alongside Cal, Simon got involved. He flirted with Astrid, dismissed Cal, and made it clear who he thought the bigger name was. Then he'd go live and apologize just to look good to the public.
I just want to quickly say, if I've offended anybody, then I didn't mean to, and I apologise, you know what I mean?
Clips circulated of Simon mocking Cal, leaning into the perception that Cal was too naive for the online game. And Simon is a known bully. He's been starting beef with many content creators just to stay relevant. For many, his alleged issues with Cal were for the same reason. He was old and he knew he was falling off. But this big of a feud doesn't end there. Ed Matthews, a fighter and influencer with his own share of controversy, jumped into the scene shortly after.
What is your name?
My name's Astrid.
Astrid?
Yeah.
There were alleged leaked screenshots of Astrid and Ed talking, where she said she'd be glad to see him beat Cal up. But the internet doesn't have any proof that this was actually the case. Now, whether Astrid was joking or dead serious almost doesn't matter. The internet took it as fuel. And if there's one thing influencer drama doesn't need, it's more gasoline on the fire. Ed made mocking comments about both Cal and Simon, using Astrid as the spark to escalate the beef into something larger. Very quickly, this evolved into one of the messy influencer boxing spectacles TikTok thrives on.
If you don't hit Simon, I'm calling you out, lad, as well, alright?
The fight wasn't really about Cal, but his name was attached to it anyway.
You messaged me saying, "Oh, let's do a collab. Let me take an explicit photo with you so that I can make loads of dough, so that we can make loads of money."
Now, the TikTok community flooded Cal's comments with support, like they'd been on his side the whole time. They claimed to be opening his eyes to what these people were doing. But from the outside, it just looked like they wanted to prolong the joke. Suddenly, he was part of a headline feud, but not as the star. He was framed as the clueless side character, the awkward outsider being used for laughs and views. For audiences, this marked the start of a new identity. He wasn't just Cal the Dragon, the football TikToker. He was Cal, the guy everyone used as a punchline.
Be careful how you say Astrid.
Yeah.
Not go down that path thing.
I'm loving your videos, Bashir. You did the
Unfortunately, that wasn't even the saddest part. It was that Cal genuinely blocked Astrid and distanced himself from content creators for a long time after this. And the people who had used him, they went on podcasts, painting themselves as saints, insisting they were only ever trying to help him out. Reddit threads and TikTok stitches painted the same picture. Some said he was gullible, easily manipulated, and taken advantage of by people who saw him as an easy way to boost their own clout. Others argued he wasn't a victim at all. He knew what was happening and leaned into it because it kept him relevant. Either way, his role was set. He was no longer the main character in control of his own story. He had become the joke character in someone else's drama, and audiences were hooked. But being the clown was one thing. He was about to taste real humiliation very soon.
Come on!
Even when the allegations and drama kept piling on, Cal the Dragon was kept relevant thanks to the football side of TikTok, seemingly avoiding the online feuds he was involved in. Content creators related to the sport played with him, sports channels interviewed him, and even became a representative for sports and people on the spectrum.
My turn. Make this look easy. To boom like
Football was Cal's dream, and it was about to come true when he was invited to play the Sideman charity match in early 2022. For Cal, this was supposed to be the dream moment. The Sidemen are one of the biggest YouTube collectives in the world. Their annual charity football matches draw millions of views, both live and after the fact. For a self-described football fanatic like Cal, playing goalkeeper on that stage was the chance to finally be taken seriously. Instead, it became one of the biggest humiliations of his career. Cal took his place in goal, but the match really showed that his football passion was never meant for the field. Shots flew past him.
One shot out the clip, he fell. Man down, watch out, time to bail. Masked up so cameras can't tell. Supreme ski on my face.
His positioning looked clumsy. His saves missed the mark. The mistakes piled up and the cameras caught every moment. Within hours, the internet was filled with compilations of his worst moments. GK Reacts channels broke down his performance frame by frame, calling it embarrassing.
One shot out the clip, he fell. Man down, watch out, time to bail. Masked up so cameras can't tell. Supreme ski on my face.
Reddit forums like RKSI mocked him relentlessly, turning his stint in goal into the definitive meme of the match. But people still tried to take his side. For every Redditor you'd find complaining about how bad Cal's performance was, there were also people who pointed out it was just a charity match. There was no obligation to bring your A game. One Reddit user wrote, "I think he did a great job, but towards the end he got comfortable. Never get comfortable if you're trying to win." Another backed up Cal. People don't understand the pressure of playing in front of a live crowd of 27,000 people, especially when you've never even played before. These haters would probably piss themselves if they were in Kai's place. Those who weren't actively on Cal's side could agree that it wasn't that deep, so people needed to stop overreacting.
So it's not the result we want, but it's all for charity at the end of the day. Of course, I got my goal as well, it's another cracker.
Reddit was full of comments like, "My question is, why are many of the players getting hate? It's a frickin' charity match, not the World Cup final." Some people honestly deserve a special place in hell. Cal stayed in goal the entire time. Pieface took a break, literally zero reason to bully the lad. It's a match for charity, FFs. Yet, the rest of the internet was far more cruel. Netizens didn't hold back from sharing their toxic 2 cents on the match. And the backlash for Cal was far from subtle. He was no longer seen as a guy passionate about football who got a chance to play on a big stage. He was seen as comic relief.
Cal goes for a fist bump and gets air.
Yeah, thank you so much. Out of 10, out of 10. So 1, 10. Let's say 9. 9.
Instead of his skills, people remembered his blunders. Instead of admiration, he got ridicule. This wasn't just about him playing badly in a game meant to be entertaining. It was the moment everyone suddenly felt they were right about him being a failure and just another cringe-worthy man with autism.
'Cause you had a bad day, you had a bad day, you had a bad day.
He wasn't Cal the underdog or Cal the football TikToker anymore. He was Cal the mean goalkeeper, a viral joke once again.
Show us your fucking tits. Nan said, what'd you do with the weekend? I said I smoked bags of coke, I sniffed lines of weed, I inject...
Even outside of football, his name became shorthand for failure. The Sidemen charity match should have been the height of his career. Instead, it became the reason he faced the worst bullying in his recent years as a content creator. But Cal's story wasn't finished yet, because right when it seemed like the internet had buried him for good, an old villain stepped back into the spotlight, and with one brutal tackle, everything changed.
But that was not banter. That was straight up abuse and hate. It really knocked me confident.
Remember Simple Simon, the TikToker who was bullying Cal during his feud with Ed? The two had managed to work out their differences, despite the supposed bullying and exploitation. In 2022, the same year as the Sidemen charity match, Simon and Cal had set up their own charity match and invited fans to watch. Just when Cal's reputation seemed locked in as the internet's favorite joke, one moment changed the way the internet treated him. During this match, Cal was taken out by a vicious two-footed tackle. The clip spread instantly. Now, it wasn't a tackle within the match that could have been chalked up to a friendly accident. A supposed fan ran out onto the field to purposely tackle Cal, bringing him down on the pitch while a group of people seemed to cheer. From their perspective, maybe it was a joke. From everyone else's, it was straight up assault. The reaction was different this time. Instead of mocking him, people rallied behind him. Commenters condemned the opposing player, calling the foul unnecessary and cruel. Others highlighted that Cal is autistic, arguing that targeting him so harshly was shameful. For once, sympathy outweighed ridicule. The incident became a turning point. Cal wasn't the butt of the joke anymore. He was the underdog wronged by someone else's aggression. It showed that the audience wasn't entirely heartless. Given the right circumstances, they could defend him just as loudly as they mocked him. But it also proved something darker. Cal's role in internet culture was less about what he did and more about how he could be turned into the next memorable moment.
I'm Cal the Dragon, I'm Cal the Dragon, I'm Cal the Dragon.
When Cal the Dragon failed, it was funny. When he was attacked, he was still pretty funny for a lot of people. Either way, people were watching. But the real downfall wasn't from the trolls or rivals. It came from much closer to home when the person meant to protect him stepped in and changed everything for the worse. If you ask anyone who genuinely enjoyed watching Cal the Dragon's content, they would agree that ever since his dad took over his channel, he's just lost his place on TikTok.
The haters wanna hate, but little do they know, I've been fighting them.
Now, Cal's dad had the internet divided. Back when his channel had started to go viral, people noticed that Cal never seemed to be well taken care of. Even his content creator friends were quick to point it out.
He just wanted to take over because he saw the money. Before, he had no interest in Cal. You know, when we first met Cal, his, the stuff he was wearing, obviously hasn't, I feel bad saying this, but obviously hasn't been washed.
So when Cal started to get views and money for his TikToks, his dad suddenly started to get more and more involved. But it soon turned into him taking over Cal's channel and changing the direction of his content.
Did you just soil yourself? Maybe.
Simple Simon revealed in a podcast that he would help Cal with his content because he wanted him to do good.
Regarding Cal, he was doing collabs, he was doing all this other stuff, all for nothing. So we was trying to help him out, trying to, get him some money.
For a very long time, he and Cal planned out his content strategy to grow his views. But suddenly Cal's dad cut him off, deciding Simon wouldn't be allowed to help with content or guide Cal's creative choices.
I got a message from his dad saying I want to be on the emails. And he went on then, changed the password. And then I just got another message saying I'm taking over all Cal's stuff now.
People noticed immediately. The collaborations dried up. Cal stopped appearing on lives with other creators, and when he did, he seemed uncomfortable, often looking off screen as if waiting for someone's approval. His dad's influence was clear. Instead of goofy videos that matched Cal's oddball humor, the uploads started leaning into staged skits and overbearing attempts at being epic. Whatever sympathy Cal had racked up from the internet was now running out. Threads on Reddit dissected how his dad had ruined the channel, calling the new content a parody of itself. Fans who defended him before admitted they couldn't watch anymore. I always find that the parents of autistic children always hold them back and ruin anything that they're doing, which is outside of what their parents want. The biggest setback was when Cal's dad encouraged him to release a song. Instead of sticking to football or TikTok skits, Cal was pushed into music.
Baby now, take me into your loving arms.
The track was hyped up as a big moment, something that would prove his versatility as a creator. But when it finally dropped, it was a disaster. Just have a listen, like, who could take this seriously?
I'm Cal the Dragon. I'm Cal the Dragon. I'm Cal the Dragon. Cal the Dragon. I'm Cal the Dragon. I'm Cal the Dragon.
It wasn't enough that the song was an epic fail with its plain lyrics and overused beat, but it came with its own music video and live performances. People were starting to agree that Cal the Dragon really was a joke. He wasn't into football as much as he used to be, and all his TikTok videos were now just another way to chase clout. By the time his dad had complete control, Cal was no longer just another quirky TikToker. He was the perfect example of what happens when you let others guide you to success. If Cal had stayed his original whimsical self, maybe his channel would have grown. It still gets views, but it comes with more hate than he's ever received in the last 5 years of his online career.
There's a lot of people that are gay in this chat, flipping out.
And that was the true tragedy of it. Cal the Dragon had gone from an underdog who could still inspire sympathy to a living meme who couldn't do anything without being mocked. His dad thought he was managing a career. What he actually did was strip away every ounce of authenticity and hand the internet a character it could destroy in real time without any shred of sympathy. One comment read, "He had autism, and this is how he was treated, but the same people talk about mental health. Utter joke." By 2025, it was impossible to separate Cal the person from Cal the spectacle.
Yo, Cal. You injured?
You just want to play
tight hamstring, mate.
Tight hamstring, man.
I know when I was walking.
He had become the internet's favorite chew toy, and the more he tried to reclaim control, the more people wanted to make fun of him for it. Cal's current situation begs the question, was it really worth it? All that drama, all the collaborations, all the hard work put into the Garden League, only to end up just like every other forgettable TikToker out there. Now, come 2025, and Cal the Dragon is still doing his football content now and then, along with everything his dad asks him to. He's still missing goals at charity matches and continues to make content that the internet laughs at.
Show us your fucking tits. Nan said, what'd you do with the weekend? I said I smoked bags of coke, I sniffed lines.
TikTok has been flooded with stitched clips dissecting his statements whenever he tends to slip up. YouTube commentary channels uploaded the Downfall of Cal the Dragon video, which suggests the idea that he's never recovering from this period in his career. Even minor creators built entire followings just by mocking his name. Chef Dave released videos labeled as official statements, treating Cal's latest slip-ups like breaking news. What's striking is that the details of the allegations didn't even matter anymore. Some were vague, some unproven, and others exaggerated. But none of that stopped the cycle. Yet some people still recognized his contributions.
The thing is, Cal the Dragon is versatile. Like, he can actually play outfield,
And
like,
he's
genuinely. He was one of those people, I remember playing football with him at the hashtag thing.
His name had become a buzzword on TikTok and Reddit. The moment Cal posted anything, it was clipped, edited, and repackaged by others. The more he tried to defend himself, the more content he created for his critics. So what does that say about the people who exploited him to get more views for themselves? The internet is getting quiet about Cal now. No one finds the rude comments or blatant ableism to be offensive anymore.
Hello guys, I'd just like to say about the video yesterday. You may have seen it on your FYP or whatever. I feel like what I said in that was unacceptable. I'm so sorry to the language that I said in that offended anybody.
But even then, some people could see the injustice being done to Cal. One comment summed it up perfectly, saying, seeing Cal's downfall in real time was genuinely a hard watch. He was taken advantage of by everyone around him, and was getting bullied by all of his viewers. Even Premier League clubs like Warlord at the time, LOL, were taking the piss out of him just to jump on the bandwagon. I hope Cal somehow finds a decent life and career away from all of this, because it's evident that he has no idea how to defend himself or make his own decisions. It's like the internet gave Cal the Dragon a window of support to do something and take a stand for himself, and now he's left to fend for himself. Alone in the spotlight, every choice he makes, whether brave or reckless, only fuels the debate about who he really is. The real question at the end of all this is, who's the victim? We never got any proof on whether any allegations against Cal were true. He may be autistic and awkward, but does that mean he was faking his struggles for views?
How are we? Guilty.
When you think of it in a broader context, many creators have done much worse in an attempt to get famous. If Cal is cringe, he's also giving many autistic boys and girls confidence to be themselves. By this point, the internet is divided. On one side are those who insist Cal is one of the most bullied figures in UK TikTok. They point to how people exploited his autism for views, how models like Astrid Wet used him for content, and how even his dad seemed to push him into bad creative decisions. To them, Cal isn't a villain. He was a victim of a cruel, parasitic online culture that built him up only to tear him down. But for others, it's the opposite. Cal went live constantly. Even when he knew trolls would swarm him, he dropped music when no one asked for it. He went as far as to quit goalkeeping, but it was feeding the same fire that burned him.
Due to a lot of shoulder pains I keep having, and it's been getting worse over the past 2 days, my announcement is I'm going to have to stop goalkeeping.
For them, Cal isn't just a victim, he's an attention seeker who just can't resist putting himself back in the spotlight, no matter how bad it makes him look. The truth is probably somewhere in between. Cal clearly enjoyed the attention, even if it was negative.
I'm Cal the Dragon. I'm Cal the Dragon. I'm Cal the Dragon.
But the people around him and the platforms themselves also enabled and encouraged the cycle. His downfall was not just his doing. It was a collective project between Cal, his handlers, other creators, and the audience who kept clicking. Cal the Dragon isn't the only creator on TikTok who's met his fate. Many content creators before him were bullied online but used it for clout. Many after him might do the same. It's a never-ending cycle of funny turning into cringe. People will always change how they feel at any given moment, and it's a fate every content creator risks.
You can shut up, you fat little
One day your comment section could be supportive. One slip up the next day and suddenly your career is over. As a whole, the internet doesn't think Cal the Dragon is important. He just seems to have fallen off. And people are slowly starting to forget their favorite joke. The real question isn't about Cal anymore, it's about us. Why do we keep watching? Why do creators keep mining his name for clout?
What would you do to give someone a really positive message, Cal?
Look at,
And why does the internet always seem to need a Cal the Dragon? Someone to build up as an underdog, then completely rip apart as a spectacle? What does it say about the true culture of online spaces?